Now live. Oh, Nick.
Hey, always good to go live. Now, I have to say, a quick heads up, my internet has been playing around with me a little bit today. It went off this morning. It went off about 20 minutes ago. Touch wood. Still on.
Okay. Fingers crossed then. Let's hope when we hit preview on the iPad, we can actually go live.
Just saying, waiting for me.
You've not got anything?
Oh, no, it's just gone go live.
Right, don't do that to me. After things have been happening in the last 30 days, I don't know anything that is created by the show host. Up until now, it's been all in Amazon hands. And it's been quite an interesting month.
Yes.
Okay. So,
looks good.
We are both now live on Amazon. Confirmed?
We are indeed, yep, and it's looking good.
Right, okay, let's switch the cameras on then. 1, 2, and welcome to our new studio. If I go like this, I think this is the way I like it.
Oh, nice.
The way it works. And if I bring this down here, then I can press start. And we're here whilst it's actually doing a countdown. A lot more possibilities now that the studio has been revamped.
I know, it's looking good. I'm liking this.
Yep. It is. It is. And we say hello to our first viewer on Amazon. This broadcast is going to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. No. Oh, and Amazon. Especially Amazon. That's why we're here, really.
Yeah, kind of what we do.
It does. It does. So thank you for joining us live. Hopefully my microphone is working. I think it is because Nick said, well, Nick's been talking to me. So
yep, I can hear you. That's a win.
Yeah. And we're live on YouTube. The bot on YouTube has woken up. So all is good. And we can now switch things over and talk about anything we like. Let's just hide that card, hide that, and go there. Hang on a minute.
Yay!
This. We're back where we should be. So
awesome stuff.
All good.
It is. And it's I can say I'm very glad to see you, Stephen. It looked incredibly wet at your park run on Saturday. You could have been swept away.
It was amazing. For those of you who don't know, Park Run takes place every Saturday, 9 o'clock. Hundreds of people getting together in parks throughout the world, but especially the UK more than anywhere else. And at 9 o'clock, we set off to run the 5 kilometres, 3.1 miles. And the circuit that Angelica and I go to is in Melksham. And it borders the River Avon. And it'd been raining for 2 or 3 days. The River Avon has starting to peak, and then during the course of the hour, it flooded the path. It started off, it was just about 2 inches deep, and then by the end, and I was the last one, it was about 6 inches deep. I think if we'd started the race at 10 o'clock, it wouldn't have gone ahead. Simple as that.
I saw the photos, and after it looked amazing.
Yeah, and we have a comment from David Birch.
Hey, hi, David.
And David's watching on Facebook. David, hello. Nice to see you. And yeah, so yeah, it was a little bit wet. Trainers haven't dried out yet.
No, I've got a bit. Well, I was marshalling at the Rushmore park run, and yeah, I just stood and got rather sodden feet. It was cold, wet, windy, but that's what we do. I'm going to run it this week, just because I've not run for a while.
It's all part of the fun. All part of the fun. I mean, we thought at 8:15, shall we go or shall we not go? And we thought we did really, because it's not very often you get to run through a river.
No, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Now, this being Monday, and this being myself and Nick, it is, of course, the movie quiz.
It must be.
From Trivia Plaza. So let's bring in the movie quiz. There it is. And we'll go like this. I'm still experimenting. Okay, we're going to go like this.
Hey.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
We haven't been able to do this before. So first thing we need is a topic.
Ooh.
General awards. Characters, connections, directors, Disney, James Bond, matches, quotes, titles, plots, soundtrack, specials, Star Wars, superheroes, and to round off, taglines and word clouds.
Ooh. How about we do specials? I don't think we've done specials for a while.
Okay, so specials it is. And okay, so this is peculiar knowledge.
Oh,
And peculiar knowledge can be about Alfred Hitchcock, Aliens, Back to the Future, Die Hard, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Jason Bourne.
Oh, okay.
Star Trek, The Next Generation films, Rambo.
I would say anything that isn't Harry Potter would be good for me.
Yeah, I haven't read the books or seen the films.
No, I don't. I think we're probably the only two people on the planet that haven't.
Right, shall we go for Star Trek 94 to 2002?
Oh, why not?
Why not?
What could possibly go wrong?
Right. After the successful Star Trek The Next Generation TV series, 4 motion pictures were made about Picard, Troy, Data, Riker, Worf, Crusher, LaForge, and other members of this crew of the USS Enterprise. What do you know about these movies? This could be interesting. So we're going to go with question 1, multiple choice. And we've got the question, then we've got 4 possible answers. If you know the answer and you're watching us live, then please do type in the answer. I know we got 10 out of 10 last week, but we do need your help this week. In which of these Star Trek, The Next Generation movies, is the USS Enterprise's saucer separated from the rest of the ship before crashing on the surface of Viridian 3? Star Trek Insurrection 1998, Star Trek Nemesis 2002, Generations 1994, and First Contact 96. How's your Star Trek, Nick?
I thought it was a little bit better than it obviously is.
Okay.
I do recall the saucer detaching from the ship, but I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, it actually happened in one of the episodes as well. I'm just rewatching TNG at the moment.
Oh.
I've got to be honest here. They've got all 7 series on Netflix. And I watched the first few episodes of season 1. And then I thought, not quite got their act together yet. So I skipped directly to season 7. Anyway, Nick, over to you. Whilst we're thinking, what do you have to show us?
What have we got? Well, actually, I've got I'll tell you what, the trials and tribulations of being a friend of Stephen Healey. And he constantly talks to us about 4K. 4K is not the future, it's right now. We have to have 4K. So I've managed to completely ignore Stephen's advice for the last 2 years. However, in the last couple of weeks, I've now gone and got myself a couple of 4K webcams. And I have to say, Stephen is absolutely right. So it's no surprise there. So this one in the carousel, this is the Depth Stitch 4K webcam. So this is the one you can see here. Now, a couple of things that I love about this one, as all these webcams, you've got your little tripod mounting, but we can also mount it, of course. We can mount it on our PCs, on our laptops, on our displays, and that's really good. And like another camera I could mention, it also rotates 360 degrees, which is all nice. Excellent thing. So it's got 4K. So as I can tell you, we are currently streaming in standard 720 standard definition. It then goes 1080 high definition. We can then get 2K quad definition. Got a camera on the coming up with that, or we got 4K. So you can't actually see the 4K right now. So you have to trust me that this does a beautiful job in 4K. It's also got a couple of microphones. It's got dual microphones, noise cancelling microphones, and the lovely thing is that gives you nice stereo as well. So we've got stereo, we've got 4K. It does pretty much everything else for you. It's autofocus. So if I had to be brutally honest, sometimes I think the autofocus is a little bit sensitive because I just have to move slightly and it will flick in and out. but it is really, really good. It's a great little camera. I've been having great fun with it. Been doing lots of filming with it. And one of the other things that I love about it is this. Look, I didn't know any other cameras. It also comes with a little tripod. So we can just plug it all in. We can screw it on. And the nice thing about this tripod is that its little feet are extendable as well. So you've got a great little conference camera, and we can mount it not only on our displays, but we can also mount it on a little tripod like so. And actually, this could be quite interesting. It was one of the things I've been playing around with last week, is that, and I was telling it to a group of people on a Zoom call only on Saturday. And that is sometimes, and we'll do it, we want to look into the camera all the time. Not look in the camera, we want that eye contact. That's really important. Whether you're on a Zoom call, Teams meetings, Google Hangouts. But of course, if you're on those devices, again, with Steve and I here, we're using BeLive, amazing third-party live stream software to help us out here. So we can also see ourselves on the screen. But what we want to do is actually look at the camera. Now, if you've got your camera not on your screen, but actually on a little tripod somewhere else, you're not distracted. So you can actually just look at the camera and you're not going to be distracted by the screen. But I know many, many people on our little calls, we like to see what everyone else is doing as well. But no, it's really good. So I was really pleased with that camera. That is in the carousel right now. It is $57.99 for a 4K ultra high definition, wide angled webcam, built-in microphones, noise cancelling, tripod, and auto focusing. That's a pretty good deal. So that's a DepthStech 4K webcam, $57.99 right now in the carousel.
Brilliant. We're going to have to sync carousels again. That would be helpful. Okay, so let's see what the quiz says. The quiz question 1. In which of the Star Trek the TNG movies is the Enterprise saucer separated from the rest of the ship before crashing on the surface of Viridian 3? Star Trek Insurrection 1998, Nemesis 2002, Generations 1994, or First Contact 1996?
Oh, do you got any ideas, Steve?
I've got a 1 in 4 chance, Nick.
Oh, right. Me too. That's really good. I've got some vague logic. I'm thinking if the saucer detaches, that's a big bit of the top, detaches from the rest of the ship, it's going to pretty much make that ship null and void, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering whether it might be the most recent one, the Star Trek Nemesis. But that could be complete rubbish.
Right, in other words, the Star Trek doesn't exist anymore. But yeah. Okay, you want to go with Nemesis then?
Only if you've got no other ideas, Steve. I have absolutely no idea.
Generations. Never mind. Question number 2, Nick.
They must have rebuilt it. The cunning devils. Okay, so in which of these Star Trek The Next Generation movies is the USS Enterprise self-destruct mechanism activated by Picard? Crusher and Worf. Oh, sorry, I'm totally messed up. Activated by Picard, Crusher, and Worf, but eventually deactivated by Data to save the ship from exploding. And I actually saw this the other day, but I don't know what it was called. Is it Star Trek Nemesis 2002, Star Trek First Contact in 1996, Star Trek Generations in 1994, or Star Trek Insurrection 1998? And while we ponder that, please do, Stephen, tell us what's in your carousel.
Right. In the carousel today is the camera that you're actually looking at now, which is the Nexigo 970p. Now, I bought this camera purely because it's the best image I've seen on a webcam, and I bought it for me. But it is, in fact, a conference camera capable of having 1 person on screen, 3 people on screen, or 5 people on screen. It has AI built in, as do most things these days, but this AI is designed to widen the field of view as more people come and sit around the conference table. The microphone works from 20 foot away, so you can have quite a large conference table. So you put it on a tripod. Hopefully I can show you that. Okay, put it on a tripod like the one here, which is a Loom Cube tripod, which is down in the carousel, and then you can actually move it about the conference table to get the best spot. And what the camera does is it's got facial recognition. So it will recognize each person around the table, and whether there are one person, 3 people, or 5 people, it just does it. Now, Nexigo, and you might see another Nexigo camera during this broadcast from Nick. Nexigo, an American company based just outside Seattle. They saw a gap in the market 4 years ago, and they've designed a range of 15 webcams. If you click the link in the carousel, you'll find that those webcams are from $60 up to $151.99. And the Nexigo that you're looking at now is, well, I've never seen this before. It's 16% off today. So you can actually save $28 if you click the link in the carousel and you actually buy it today, $28. It's got twin microphones. It has a Sony CMOS sensor, which is providing the 4K. So we've got 720, which is what you're watching now, which is DVD quality. 1080 is high definition, and then ultra high definition up there is 4K. And the closest we've got is 3840 by 2160. So we're getting closer to 4K. Now, as far as a 4K camera is concerned, as soon as you take this camera out of the box, you can use it to actually broadcast live to YouTube. Add the camera to OBS, set a destination to YouTube, change the resolution to 4K, and you can go live on YouTube in 4K. People can watch you live in 4K, watch the replay in 4K. So 4K content is reality. Thank you to OBS, which is free. Thank you to YouTube, which is also free. So you just need to buy the camera and you can do it straight away. Now, both Nick and I create a lot of content, and this is where a 4K camera comes into its own. Because if you're using desktop software on a PC or Mac, you can create 4K content. Use something like Camtasia, and you can create the most amazing quality content using a 4K camera, like the Nexigo, which is down in the carousel. And that puts us ahead because we can create 4K content. We can put that 4K content on YouTube and Vimeo, and we can outshine everybody else who's only shooting in 1080p. So if you are a content creator, or you do how-to videos, or you do marketing videos, 4K is the place to be now, ahead of the game, getting used to using it and getting used to people saying, wow, what a brilliant video that is. And we can do that in 4K. People have got used to 1080p and 720. 4K is just, we're just on the cusp of actually 4K taking off. We just need faster internet for it to work. Just to go back to what I said a moment ago, to broadcast to YouTube, you do need a 20 megabyte upload speed, okay, which we're hoping to get in the UK at some point. But for the moment, we can create 4K content locally. With the twin built-in microphones, the 4K lens, it has everything you want to a conference camera, and as a solo camera, it just does the job. Nexigo are becoming, well, one of the better known names in the webcam market. 4K is the place to be, as Nick just said. And with the Nexigo, I've had no problems at all. Just one thing though, Nick showed you his camera, but this camera is 7 inches wide. So it does take up quite a bit of space. And it's sat on top of my BenQ monitor, which is also down in the carousel. But if you're looking for a high quality, high performance webcam, then the Nexigo N970p fits that bill. And let's go back to where we were. And I think we were talking about question 2, Nick.
We were. In which of these Star Trek The Next Generation movies is the USS Enterprise's self-destruct mechanism activated by Picard, Crusher, and Worf, but eventually deactivated by Data to save the ship from exploding? And I think to save Captain Picard from a very sticky end. Was that Star Trek Nemesis, Star Trek First Contact, Star Trek Generations, or Star Trek Insurrection? So take your pick. As I say, I did see this the other day, but I don't know which one it was because I don't recall seeing the beginning. So, Stephen, I'm hoping you know.
Okay, I'm going to I would take a flyer at Insurrection.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Oh. No. Okay, we're doing well at this one.
We're a couple of trickies.
Right. our credibility, our Trekkie credibility is taking a nosedive. In Star Trek Generations 1994, what is the name of Dr. Tolian Soren's obsession? An extra-dimensional realm where time has no meaning and anyone can experience whatever they desire. Vinculum, labyrinth, nexus, axioma. Vinculum, labyrinth, nexus, or axioma. And have we ever scored 0 out of 10, Nick? Oh, yeah, have we? Okay.
Not yet. I think we're on our way.
What's next in the carousel, Nick?
Actually, just to break it up from all the cameras, because I've got now 6 cameras sitting here, and I can only show you 5. And I know Steve has got lots of cameras, but we can't have just the camera show as much as we'd like to. I'm going to split it up because in the carousel I've got this and this. Whoa! It's attached to a ring light that's nearly fallen over. This is the TP-Link Deco Powerline wireless mesh Wi-Fi system. What in earth is that, I hear you cry? Well, I had a little bit of a problem, and as always, the lovely Mr. Healey solved it for me. But I wanted to do a live stream of the cooking show. Now, I live in a lovely English house, beautiful brick built. It is fantastic at keeping me warm, safe, and dry. It is not so good at letting Wi-Fi roam freely all around the building. So I've got the router, Wi-Fi router in the lounge by the TV, like we all do. That big brick walls between that and the kitchen where I wanted to do the live stream. I had no connectivity whatsoever. Make matters worse, I've also got no data on my phone in the kitchen either, so no data signal. So I was stymied, wasn't sure what to do. Stephen Healey had the answer. He said, TP-Link Deco, not only an amazing UK company, but also somehow it gets Wi-Fi to go through walls. Yes, I kid you not, that is absolutely true. So I thought, what could be easier? So I sent off, it arrived the next day using Amazon Prime, the way we do. And to my dismay, apart from having some instructions on the box, it said, with your phone, scan the QR code and follow the instructions. Now, I'm old-fashioned. I quite like an instruction manual that I can read through and then totally ignore, and then read through again and follow. But yeah, I was thinking, oh no, what's going to go wrong here? And I've never touched the router in my life, so I was a little bit nervous. So with trepidation, I unboxed everything. And do you know what? This was the most simple thing in the world to set up. Exactly that. QR code scanned, you then brings you into the app. You set up an account with your email address and a password, and it is so simple. The pack comes with 3 of these little devices and an Ethernet cable, which can go in the back there. Now, all you need to do is take one device, the Ethernet cable, and plug that also into the back of your router, have them both switched off, switch them both on again, and as if by magic, little white light here, that goes blue and yellow for a while, boom, then it connects, and you've got yourself a wireless Wi-Fi network. And okay, what do you do next? Well, I'm going to plug one in the kitchen. As you can see, there is only one cable coming out of here. This is the power cable. You don't need any others. So I plugged one in the kitchen, waited about 60 seconds, boom, it connected. Absolutely fantastic. And then this one obviously came upstairs to the office, plugged that in. I now have amazing Wi-Fi all over the house. It is super fast. There is no lag. It is incredible. I'm now actually getting the Wi-Fi speeds from the provider, when they don't keep switching me off, that they promised me in the first place. It is super, super fast. On top of that, we can control it with our app. We can actually have 100 devices onto this network without any problem whatsoever, without any denigration of the service. I think I've got about 15 at the moment. I'm struggling to find another 85, I'll be honest. But if you want to come over and try my fast network, then obviously I'll give you my password and you can come on. It is absolutely brilliant. They recently updated the app, and and it pretty much solves all its problems by itself. There's an issue, you can actually make it self-run diagnostic. It gives you monthly reports about what you've been using. You've got parental controls you can add in. It is just amazing. I don't know how the technology works particularly, but it covers you for, well, I think this was for 5,500 square feet. If you need to go into get a bigger place, if you want more than that, you don't need to get 3 more. You just buy 1 extra, and then you just get super fast, high-speed wireless broadband all over your house. Absolutely brilliant. So again, another great big thank you to Stephen Healey for putting me onto that. It is just incredible. Changed exactly how I can do my work. Perfect.
Yeah, mine is hiding over here. It does make a heck of a difference, as Nick has just described. So you've got 2 votes for the TP-Link Deco down in the carousel. And we're going to go back to the question. In Star Trek Generations 1994, what is the name of Dr. Tolian Soren's obsession, an extra-dimensional realm where time has no meaning and anyone can experience whatever they desire? Option A, Vinculum. Option B, Labyrinth, Nexus, or Axomia? Okay.
Well, I couldn't even apply any logic to that.
There's no logic to this then. So we've got a pre-choice and we haven't got a clue. So if you're watching on Nick's page or my page, I picked this topic, so I've got to stand up and say I should have picked a better topic. But that said, do you have an inkling? I mean, Labyrinth is Bowie, isn't it?
Yes, of course, yes, that was. Nexus sounds like a car. That might be Nexus.
No, a car or a cloud, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Vinculum or yeah, I don't know. I'd guess it. I wouldn't guess at all.
Okay, if Axioma. No, Nexus, which brings us on quite neatly to question 4.
Oh, we're lighting up a route for everyone here. Okay, so next question. Can we get 4 out of 4? In Star Trek First Contact, 1996, members of what species are the main antagonists? Are they Romulan? Are they Borg? Are they Klingon? Or are they Vulcan? Romulan, Borg, Klingon, or Vulcan? Star Trek The First Contact, 1996. If you know the answer, please do drop it in the comments.
Yeah,
I don't. So it's relying heavily on Stephen today. What you got in your carousel next, Mr. Healey?
I haven't decided yet. No, I mean, it should have been so simple and straightforward, should this quiz? Because who hasn't seen a Star Trek movie? You know, I mean, right. Okay. So the next item that we're going to talk about is not the quiz. We're going to forget the quiz. Let's hide the quiz out of the way. The quiz is gone. And I'm just going to swap around here. And basically what we're going to talk about is the camera that's at the top. Okay. Now the camera at the top is this one. And I know you're going to see 2 of me in a minute. And I'm going to put myself on screen. This is the Obspot Tiny 4K camera, another 4K camera. And this camera, though, can do things other cameras can only dream of doing. It's by Obspot. I've got 2 Obspot cameras, the 1080p and the 4K. This is 4K, okay, resolution, and 4x zoom. So it's the most powerful webcam that I've got. It's down in the carousel today, and I've got to say, I've never seen it at this price before. It is $179, which is 33% off.
Wow. Yeah.
Whilst Nick and I are live, 33% discount holds. You can save an amazing $90 on this camera if you click the link and order today. If you click the link, you're not actually ordering, you're just getting more information and you're free to do whatever you wish. We're just suggesting you might want to take a closer look at this webcam, as it is a special webcam and it is an amazing discount today. First thing is, it's got 3 presets. So I can go from me to the desktop, as we saw a moment ago. Just a minute. Try this one. To the desktop, and then I can go to the preset. Now, when I showed this last week, it was actually pouring with rain. But as you can see, today in Devizes in Wiltshire in England, the sun is shining. And I went out for a walk this morning, and it is, well, we're in spring. Spring has sprung. So 3 presets. We've got looking outside of the office. We've got the desktop. Because the sunshine, the desktop's, well, I'm just waiting for it to go a bit darker first, and then we can come back to me. So you've got 3 presets. Now, this is a conference camera. It's designed to sit on a gimbal, stand. I've overdone it this weekend. Too much walking. It's on a stand like the Loom Cube stand we've actually got there at the moment, which is the best design stand I've seen. So this is the ObSpot. You've got a lens on top. You've got a 2-axis gimbal underneath, and then you've got the camera body underneath. So that's the structure of the camera. Now, the camera itself, I think I've got this off pat now, is special because the camera has built into it AI tracking software, which means that I can do this. Fingers crossed. Okay, you notice that the stage is moving. That's because it is.
Yay.
If I stand up, close the door, because Angelica's teaching at the moment. The thing about the ObSpot Tiny 4K is that it is a PTZ camera, which is pan, tilt both ways, and zoom. Okay, which means that it can actually follow you. And as I walk around the office, the camera will follow me, and it's doing 2 things automatically. It's giving me headroom, and it's putting me in the center of the screen. And that means that because this software can track, it's ideal for a teaching situation. You've got a teacher at front of class with a whiteboard, then you can record them using this camera, and you can record the whole lecture. And as they move about and they're writing on the whiteboard, you see how smooth the movement is. You can actually record a full lecture using just one ObSpot 4K webcam. And because it's 4K, this is the best resolution you can get on a webcam at the moment. And because it's an ObSpot, it can do the most amazing things like following you and tracking you. It has a fast tracking mode as well. It's got twin inbuilt microphones, which can pick up the sound all around. It also has noise cancellation. And again, put it on a tripod in the center of the conference table. Ideal conference camera because you can actually get it with the software to go from one person to another person, or you can go and show all 5 on screen at the same time. So in terms of what the camera can do, it is far in advance of any other camera. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to be daring, is I'm going to bring this camera on screen. Just leave Nick over there for a moment. I'm going to put these 2 cameras side by side. Okay, so if I go here, okay, the difference between the ObSpot and any other camera is this. If I stand up, okay, as I did before, the ObSpot is tracking me and keeping my face in the picture. The other camera hasn't got a clue what's going on. All it knows is I've stood up and it can't see me anymore. So the advantage of the ObSpot is that you can move around quite freely at any time during your presentation. If you're doing a Zoom call and you're sat down talking to people and then you need to show them something, you can simply switch mode and stand up. Whereas everybody else stuck with showing jumper. That's the ObSpot difference. That's why it's the most fun you can have with the camera, apart from when it loses you. And I just love working with it. It's a brilliant camera to actually work with. PTZ, pan, tilt, and zoom. It's in the carousel today at $179. It is on discount. It's an incredible 33% off today, saving $90. And it's the camera that moves. Right, okay, now it's, at this point, I'm going to switch Nick's camera on. Okay, and Nick knows I was going to switch his camera on, which is always a good idea, and bring Nick back in. And then we're going to find the quiz and bring the quiz back in and put the quiz full screen. And whilst that we're reading that, or Nick's reading that, I'll hide one of my cameras.
Go for it. Okay, so this is the question, and I'm afraid I don't know the answer. So if you do know the answer, please do either pop it in my comments or in Stephen's comments. In Star Trek First Contact 1996, members of what species are the main antagonists? Are they Romulan, Borg, Klingon, or Vulcan? Now, I'm only guessing that maybe Vulcans were good guys in the older versions of Star Trek, so I'm going to rule them out. But I have no idea. There could be any one of the other three. Stephen, have you got an idea?
I've got more than an inkling. I'm going to go with Borg.
Oh, hey!
We've got one right. Wow! Just a minute. Let's switch the camera on and celebrate.
That's amazing.
We've actually got one right. Incredible. It's the little things that count. This is the little things that count. Now, talking of, both Nick and I are actually using noise cancellation software. And at the moment, I've got a neighbor who's actually drilling somewhere. Can you hear anything?
No, not at all.
And this is why we've got noise cancellation software and why it works. My neighbor is actually drilling at the moment, and I can hear it. It's annoying the hell out of me, but you can't hear it because of noise cancellation. And this is why noise cancellation is so important. Anyway, with that, let's go to question 5. At least we've been given the picture this time, Nick. In Star Trek Nemesis 2002, what is the name of Captain Jean-Luc Picard's evil and imperfect clone that serves as the movie's main antagonist? Shinzon, Zirl, Ziran, or Zirak? I'm saying Zoo. It could be Sue, couldn't it? Really? Sue.
Zirak.
Right. Okay. Anyway, Nick, whilst we're pondering that, with the help of our viewers on Amazon, can you talk about what's in your carousel?
I can, because I'd rather talk about what's in my carousel than try to answer that quiz. That's for sure. In the carousel, we've now got what I still consider to be the best value for money entry-level webcam. It is the Nexigo N930E stream cam. It's on a whopping, today while we're live, whopping 40% off, $47.99. This, guys, is even more of a bargain than we would normally have. These webcams, we love our webcams, we love our conference cams, but some are more expensive than others. Some do better than others. And for me, this is the best entry-level webcam there is on the market. Like all of them, yep, we've got the tripod mount. We can mount it on our little laptops or PCs, our Macs on the displays. This was the first camera I had that goes all the way around, just sitting on a little ball. It's absolutely fantastic. As you can see, we have the all-important privacy cover. This one we stick on. It comes with 2, just in case you muck it up the first time. Luckily, I didn't. It worked fine. But this is the first camera we're talking about today that is not a 4K camera. This is a 1080 high definition camera. It does a beautiful job, though. Don't you worry. It's got a little bit of punch in it that you might not realize. Again, like all these cameras, they've got a built-in microphone. So when you are upgrading, because we all got built-in cameras, if I switch to Mac's built-in camera, it would look totally different from what it looks like right now. So we're always upgrading our cameras, but also we're upgrading our audio, because all these have got built-in microphones. So that is going to make you sound better, for starters. This one, again, we're using noise cancelling software, but for this we've got noise cancelling microphones too, and they pretty much take away 90% of any ambient noise. I've been using it for a good 6 months now. I think this camera really does an amazing job. Now, the other thing to notice is that with the Nexigo, we got some cracking software to download as well. As we always say, if you've got software with your webcam, do download it. It's there for a reason. And that gives us so much control. We can control our exposure, our white balance, our backlighting, our focusing, hue, contrast, you name it, we can control it. So we can get the best looking picture that we can from this camera. What I love about this is that we can then save the settings. So I use this up in the office up here. I've got it set for one settings. I use it down in the kitchen for the cooking show, and I hang it off the extractor hood, sorry, so that I can actually see directly down onto the stove. So kitchen and office, two totally different lighting arrangements. So I just set two different settings, and it's just easy. I mean, yeah, with the kitchen, depends whether it's sunny or not, but at least I'm not a million miles away from where I want to be. It just takes a little bit of tweaking for the setup. So that's one of the things that I love about it. So it saves us time, does a great job. But the thing I love about it most is that it's got a built-in ring light, and I've got a box light there, I've got a ring light in front of me, I've got another ring light there. We have lots of light, and because we're on camera, we need lots of light. We want to try and look as good as we possibly can. And we've all been on Zoom calls and Google Hangouts, Teams meetings, where people have been hiding in the dark with terrible audio, and you just look so much better than everyone else with that built-in ring light. I absolutely love it. This is just an amazing camera. Now, what I was going to do, if we don't mind, Steve, what I was going to do is I'm going to quickly flip it over so we can actually hear what the built-in microphone sounds like. So if I just pop that there, just remember to take the cover off. So I shouldn't go anywhere, because it should just be a quick, easy switcheroo to different camera. There you go, just like that. And as you can see, it's a great, a great picture still. I just need to adjust it down a touch, so you frame myself a little bit better. Right, so let's see what the audio is like, because I think the audio on this is really good. So I'm going to switch it to next go. So where I was using the lapel mic, which is like a very nice lapel mic, also in the Carousel, the Purple Panda, you're now picking me up on the noise cancelling Nexigo mic as well. So you can hear a slight difference, but it's still a really good built-in microphone. And I say, for a camera that is right now $47.99, for me, this is still like the best entry-level webcam you can buy. It's got a great lens. It's 1080 high definition. The software that it comes with makes it so much more powerful, and it is just the built-in ring light. I absolutely love it. So that's the Nexigo N930E. Beautiful little webcam. I'm going to switcheroo now. Back to that one.
We've switched. We definitely switched. Everybody watching on Amazon Live, you're watching Nick and Stephen live from the UK, broadcasting on BeLive. The link's up at the top, and we've decided to do a Star Trek quiz, which is not the best idea we've ever had. But we do have a question in front of us, and it's question 5. In Star Trek Nemesis 2002, what is the name of Captain Jean-Luc Picard's evil and imperfect clown that serves as an antagonist, the movie's main antagonist? Put it full screen so you can see it. But if you know the answer, we need your help. We really do. I mean, making no bones about this, we're not doing too well at the moment.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, I'm going to go for no other reason than I think it's right. Saran. No, oh dear, oh dear.
I like your logic though. For no other reason than I think it's right.
That worked out very well. Nick, it's over to you.
Perfect. Well, we're cracking along. This could be our best quiz yet. Okay, which word is missing from this iconic catchphrase? What word is missing from this iconic catchphrase by the Borg, an enemy species often featured in Star Trek, the Next Generation TV series and movies? Something is futile. Right, okay, now I understand the question. Right. Okay. I'll try and read it correctly this time. What word is missing from this iconic catchphrase by the Borg, an enemy species often featured in Star Trek, Next Generation TV series and movies? Something is futile. Is it defiance? Is it insurgency? Is it resistance? Or is it opposition? Stephen, I do believe we might have a fighting chance of getting this one right.
I can't resist giving the answer a bit early, but I'm not going to. Right. Okay. The next item is basically my go-to set of headphones. I've had these for about a year now. They are Aftershok's Aeropacks. They're down in the carousel and they are $144.08. They're 10%, saving you $15.87 today. Now, the reason for this is that every morning at 11:30, I go out the door and I walk 4 or 5 miles at a brisk pace most days. And I go out and I'm wearing my Aftershok's headphones, which are here. Okay, I put them close to the camera so you can see them. They're very lightweight. They only weigh 28 grams and they are coated. They are totally waterproof to IP67. Don't go swimming though, but you can go walking, jogging, running and cycling. And I've got a notification, Nick Wood is ready to join your broadcast. So welcome, Nick. Right. So the thing, though, about headphones is that you know that I love these, but the question was given in one of the Nick and I are involved in park runs. And park run, as you know, is our Saturday morning adventure, 9 o'clock run 5K. And people are always talking about which headset do you actually use, which headphones do you use when you're actually out and about doing a park run? Because the thing is, if you listen to loud rock music when you're out and about, it actually, well, at the right beat, you actually walk faster. I've proved this. I'm not saying it's scientifically proven, but if you're wearing headphones, you're doing a 5K, you move faster, or you seem to move faster. So people were asked, which headphones do you wear when you're doing a park run? And this 30 people answered, and 24 of them said Aftershok's.
Wow.
So Aftershok's have got the outdoor market. This is patented technology, way ahead of everybody else. And they are selling like hotcakes. And the ones in the carousel today are $144.08 discount. Now, the reason that people love these is, one, they're waterproof. And Nick and I live in the UK, and it does rain occasionally. The rivers might bust their banks occasionally. So they are waterproof. And I've proved it many times over in the last 3 months that I can be out in a downpour and these headphones have no problems. How do they work? Basically, you've got twin speakers there. Twin speakers vibrate. Vibrations go through your cheekbone. From your cheekbone, they go to your inner ear. Okay, now, benefits of this are that your ears are free to listen. Yeah, you can speak to the person next to you. You can hold a perfectly natural conversation wearing these whilst listening to rock music. You can see and hear the traffic in front of you, but you can also hear the traffic behind you. Now, I was walking. I'm finishing one of my walks off last Wednesday, I think it was, and I was listening to rock music. I mean, I had Amazon Music blasting away on my mobile phone, Bluetooth to my headphones, and I was just enjoying being out. And I heard these footsteps. I was listening to rock. I heard footsteps, somebody coming up behind me. And I knew I was going to be overtaken, but I wasn't surprised because I'd heard them. These allow you to hear everything that's going on around you, which is a brilliant safety feature, which other manufacturers are copying. But Aftershok's, I'm dare to say, were there first. Control-wise, switch them on, switch them off. Increase volume, decrease volume, skip to the next track. All standard features. You can take a phone call with one click. You can make a voice dial phone call with a couple of clicks. Simple and straightforward. I've tested it with Angelica. I generally ring home 10 minutes before I'm due to arrive. One, Angelica knows I'm still on my way home. And two, put the kettle on. That works quite well. So Angelica can hear me. I can hear Angelica. The telephone sound is very good. They're just quality headphones. They are lightweight. These weigh 28 grams, which is less than the weight of a bag of chips. So I put these on 11 every morning, and I forget I'm wearing them. They're so lightweight, so reliable, they're waterproof, and the sound quality is basically, it's good. You've got a good beat, you've got a good variation, everything can be heard clearly. Turn up the volume and just get walking. Okay, so for outdoors, these headphones, walking, jogging, running and cycling are the best that I've found. And 24 out of 30 people asked, which headphones do you use when you're out and about? Said, Aftershocks. Okay, now that's just in a Facebook group, so it's not a scientific test, but it is an indication that more and more people are actually turning to Aftershocks when you're involved in outdoor pursuits. For me, this is my second pair of Aftershocks. A couple of years down the road, there'll be another pair as well. I don't see a reason to change. They got there first, they got it right, and I've got a sound up. Right, just a second. I'm going to switch them off. Power off. Okay, when you power on, it tells you whether you've got a high battery or not. As I say, stopping and starting tracks, simple and straightforward. Skipping a track is straightforward. Works with a mobile phone, works with anything that's Bluetooth. So you could actually pair it with your desktop PC or your Mac, and you could just walk around the house listening to Wi-Fi on Bluetooth and on Wi-Fi. So that's it. Aftershocks for the win. $144.08 today. A saving. We're doing well today. 10% off. $159.95 normally is the price, but $144.08 today. And let's go back to the quiz. Do we have to?
Yeah, really. Actually, I've got to ask you a question, Stephen. I always think when you've got your Aftershocks on, if you open your mouth, does the sound then come out of your mouth? Just a minute.
It's just the question is.
My question was, if you got your Aftershocks on, so it's vibrating. In my brain, I'm thinking if you open your mouth wide, the sound would actually come out of your mouth.
No, that's the other thing. The other thing, I got so excited when I got these that I put the Stones on from my mobile phone, and I went into Angelica and I said, Angelica, I've got these new headphones. She said, wow. And I said, well, what am I playing? And Angelica couldn't hear a thing. The leakage on these headphones is very low. So even somebody stood next to you can't hear what you're playing, which is absolutely brilliant. So thank you for reminding me about that feature, but it still doesn't get us away from the fact that we're in the middle of a quiz.
I'm trying to avoid the question. Although, having said that, I think we might know this one. What word is missing from this iconic catchphrase by the Borg, an enemy species often featured in Star Trek, The Next Generation, TV series and movies? Something is futile. Is it defiance? Is it insurgency? Is it resistance? Or is it opposition? And I'm thinking, Stephen, it might be resistance, but I'd take your...
No. The resistance is futile crops up so many times in Star Trek. They've actually copyrighted it, I think.
Oh, wow. Oh,
okay, there we go. We got one right. Okay, we're on a roll. Oh, right. Okay. In which of these Star Trek TNG movies does the crew of the USS Enterprise rebel against Starfleet after they discover a conspiracy to steal a peaceful planet? Star Trek First Contact, 96, Star Trek Nemesis, 2002, Star Trek Insurrection, 1998, and Star Trek Generations, 1994. I think we need to ponder that one, Nick. Whilst we do, it's over to you.
Yes, we definitely need to ponder that one. I've just come to the realization I don't think I've seen most of these films at all.
We should watch them again.
I saw the old Star Trek movies, Kirk and the like. But anyway, we digress. Now, again, away from the camera for a moment. I want to talk about audio, and we switched it off on the last one so you could see the difference between a lapel microphone and then the built-in mics on the Nexigo. This is the Purple Panda lavalier microphone, lapel microphone. It is absolutely my go-to mic when I'm recording right now. I think the audio quality is superb and it is just my go-to recording device. Now, thing is, when it comes, it's got this lovely, where's it gone? Here we go. First of all, it's got this beautiful, like a faux velvet little bag, little pouch, because it's a bit of a kit. So you've got more than one item. It starts off with a little cable, which you might be able to see. This cable here, just under 5 foot of cable that then plugs in. I've got it plugging into the Mac. I've actually got it plugging in via a 3.5 or is it 2.5 mil jack to a USB port. So that's how that's working. And that's perfect because I'm just sitting here, and that's what I use 9 times out of 10, because I can actually even stand up with it, and it's all fine and dandy. Now, what's in the bag? Well, if you want to use a longer piece of cable, then you have this one here, and this is a mammoth, pretty much 10 foot of cable as well. So you've got just shy of 15 feet worth of cable. If we're out and about, 15 foot is going to do you, or should do you, absolutely fantastic. If you're using it on the Mevo Start that's in the carousel, 15 feet is perfect. But I bought, I haven't told this story for a while, but I bought this because I actually wanted, more than anything, I wanted this element, and this is a mini USB-C to 3.5 mil adapter. Why did I want that? Well, because I've got this old GoPro Hero 4, and it's great. Again, it shoots in 4K ultra high definition, no problem at all. And it's, gosh, 7 years old, I think now, or yeah, next month, 7 years old. The video on it, the filming on it is still perfect. What has never been any good is the audio. So I used to drop a little cable into my iPhone to record audio if I was using it. But with this device, and what I did last year on a little trip up to the north was I plugged in my Purple Panda microphone, went up to a lovely place called Digley Reservoir in Yorkshire in the UK. It was a beautiful, beautiful day because we had this massive heat wave going on, and I was able to shoot myself in 4K ultra high definition and get awesome audio, all saved on a little, just in there you can't see, on a little SD card, a micro SD card, 122 gigs, I think that one, and that gives me plenty of recording. The nice thing is, it just meant I could take the SD card out, plugged it in the back of the Mac, and I've got the audio and the video on the same device. It made life a lot easier than trying to line up audio that I'd recorded from elsewhere. So it did an absolutely beautiful job. But as you can see, we've got this little cover here. But what it also has, apart from extra clips, little crocodile clips, on those windy days, what we want is what we call it a dead cat. It's actually a fluffy windshield. So this is like the fluffy windshield here. So it's a windy day outside. We just pop that over the microphone, and that then takes away all that wind noise. Now, in my excitement at the reservoir, where it was quite windy, I forgot to put that on, but the results were really, really good anyway. So it's superb. Now, what I didn't know until I started researching and looking at questions people were asking, I didn't realize that, and one of the reasons because of this windshield, this lapel microphone, the Purple Panda, is very, very popular within the biker vlogging community. Yes, biker vlogging, it is a thing. And so
Right.
long cable, we've got a fluffy windshield, you can pop that in our helmets, and we can ride along on our motorbikes. You can hear us beautifully because it's a nice omnidirectional mic, but also you can hear the roar of your engine as well. And yeah, I think what people are doing is basically sticking their GoPros on their motorbikes, talking through it, and having their best life for sure. So this excellent microphone, and if you're teaching what you know, if you're recording courses and things like that, you want good audio. So a lapel microphone, a lavalier lapel microphone will do you the world of good, and you have lovely, lovely audio. So that is the Purple Panda lavalier kit, and that is in the carousel right now for $33.99. So it's a bit of a bargain for that price. Fantastic piece of kit. No batteries required. You literally just plug it in and away you go.
Brilliant.
What can I say? My
Well,
favourite.
I think you've said it all, because the Pearl microphones are inexpensive and effective.
They are indeed.
Okay, so back to the quiz, and it is question 7 of 10. In which of these Star Trek The Next Generation movies does the crew of USS Enterprise rebel against Starfleet after they discover a conspiracy to steal a peaceful planet? Is it Star Trek First Contact in 96, Nemesis in 2002, Insurrection in 98, or Generations in 94? I mean,
I guess in Insurrection it might be, just by the name.
Okay, Insurrection.
Yay!
Teamwork.
The clue was in the title.
Brilliant. Okay,
Who knew it could be that
yeah.
simple. Okay, so Star Trek. Who provided the music for Star Trek First Contact, Star Trek Insurrection, Star Trek Nemesis, as well as some earlier Star Trek movies? Oh, I think I might know this one. Was it Alan Silvestri? Was it John Williams? Was it Howard Shaw or Jerry Goldsmith who provided the music for Star Trek First Contact 1996, Insurrection 98, Nemesis 2002, as well as some earlier Star Trek movies? And can I just add in, I believe they recorded these at Abbey Road Studio in London.
Wow. Made famous by the Beatles. Okay, so it's over to me. Okay, so whilst we're pondering that question, and I've got an inkling on that, but I've got something that's annoying me. Just a moment. Down in the carousel, you'll find this. I just want to talk about it for a second. If you are surfing the carousel, you will find this, which is our Pivo stand. It's a go-to stand for me for actually mounting a mobile phone and using it as a second camera, because this is not flimsy. This is solid metal with 3 hinges. So let's put that back over there and also try to get it out of shot. We've done it. Okay, I'm still wearing the headphones. Told you I forget I'm wearing them. Right, the next item down the carousel is Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, which is here. And if I go here, this is basically goes with me every morning, listening to music on these headphones. Now, as Nick has inferred when we were looking at the iPhone a long while ago, it seems now, Nick, when a new model is released, the price of the previous model goes down, which is why this Samsung Galaxy S22, released in 2022, is 13% off today. It's $1041.95 as opposed to $1199.99. So you can save $158 if you click the link in the carousel. Model-wise, there are several different models of the S22 Ultra. 128 gig, 256, 512. This is 256. The bigger the number, the more memory it has. It has an 8 megapixel video, 8 megapixel images. On the back, you have got the lenses. You've got a 108 megapixel, 3 times zoom, 10 times zoom, and a nightography lens, which I can just cover up by doing that. Keep them safe. So this excels at taking video. I mean, basically, it was designed to be the best mobile camera you've had, and it's that in space. Until the 23 model came out, which is more expensive, by the way, this was the camera to have. And I'm going to show you why, because I can talk about this for ages, but what I'm going to do is just switch Nick's camera off for a moment, and I'm going to bring this on screen, if I can find it. I take myself off solo. Let's hide the quiz. Let's hide the second camera. And I'm going to go picture in picture this way. In just a minute, we'll get there. If I go like that. Okay. All the images I'm about to show you were taken with the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. This image is hot off the press. This is from Savernake Forest, which is just outside Marlborough in England, in Wiltshire. And Angelica and I went for a walk in the woods yesterday. And we asked the Echo Dot before we went, what's the weather going to be like at Savernake Forest today? and she said Savernake Forest will have. She couldn't spell and pronounce Savernake. Just check it out. Alexa doesn't do everything perfectly. So it was a beautiful walk yesterday, and as with all walks, you actually want to take photographs along the way. So this is Savernake Forest in Wiltshire. The next photograph is of Salisbury Cathedral. All these photographs taken with the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. And this is the cloisters at Salisbury Cathedral. On the left-hand side, a bit further than the blue, you have a chapel which houses a copy of the Magna Carta made in the 1100s, and you can see it right now. This is our flower garden. We're hoping that we get more wildflowers. We've been told in the UK, save the bees. So we're putting bee-friendly flowers into our gardens, and a very colourful display you get. Wildflowers are, well, it doesn't have to be a manicured English garden. It can be a wild garden. We live close by the Kenneth-Navon Canal, which runs from Bristol to London. Basically, this was used to transport goods, which had landed from the USA in Bristol, taken off the ship, put onto barges, and they went up to London. It took about 4 days. But then, of course, the steam engine was invented, and trains overtook canal barges, and canal barges became a thing of the past. The canal itself was effectively closed down, but it's now been reopened by volunteers and is a tourist attraction. Another photograph, this is Henley-on-Thames, and this is where the Henley Regatta actually takes place every year, a rowing event, and it is the Thames, because it's Henley-on-Thames, a beautiful place to actually walk. And whilst we're there, Dame Baroness, I keep trying to say Dame, but it's actually Baroness Fleur Benjamin was there at a book signing, and we managed to get a copy of the book, and which we've been reading. This is the Courts Garden in Wiltshire. This is a former industrial estate, which has become an English country garden. And I was very fortunate last autumn just to duck under this tree and get this shot of the leaves before they were all blown away. This is a country walk, beautiful flowers. I think I've edited these a little bit. Back to the country house again. Again, all these photographs taken with the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, which is down in the carousel. This is my favourite walk. I love the reflection of the trees in the canal. And this is where I walk. I'll be there tomorrow. Picture me walking up and down this section of the canal. Just a beautiful place to be. And tomorrow, it's spring, and spring has sprung, and it's not going to rain. So I'll be able to walk up and down that canal and not get drenched. This is Salisbury Cathedral. We saw the cloisters a moment ago. This is the inside of the church. This photograph, as you can probably guess, was taken at Christmas with the Christmas tree in the background. The church was built in the 11th and 12th centuries. The font that we can see in the foreground was installed in 2008. It is a working font. And if you look at the corners, you can see water coming out of the font. That falls into grating down below and is then recycled. So this is, in fact, a living font with the water being recirculated. Then we see that, right, now, every program I do on Amazon must feature Angelica. This is my partner, Angelica, again in Salisbury Cathedral. And another picture of the font. And then this, it was a cold day. I just want to go one more. This is it. This is one of my favorite pictures taken with the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. If you look to the right-hand side of the photograph, you can see a very frosty path, which you wouldn't walk on. No matter what you had on your feet, you wouldn't walk on it. And you can see the canal. If you look closely, the canal is actually frozen. And it was frozen for a great length. There are no barges moving that day. And in that photograph, it's going to be a rare event that a canal freezes over. So this is a rare photograph. And final photograph, this is close to where I live, 5 minutes from our house. This is the Crammer, which is a man-made lake. And as you can see, it has visitors from all around the world. We've got Canadian geese, we've got swans, we've got ducks, we've got everything. And a Facebook group has been formed called the Friends of the Crammer. And they're looking after, because as you can see, if you look on the left-hand side of the photo, a lady in red, there's a row of cars. The crammer is next to a busy road. Now, if you're a swan or a duck or a pigeon, you've no idea when you cross the road that there's going to be cars whizzing past. So at the moment, what they're trying to do is find a way for the wildfowl to actually survive modern day traffic. Traffic calming measures may come into place, but everything I've shown you is taken by the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, the best mobile phone I've had, down in the carousel, 1041.95, and it's back to, if I can find it somewhere, the question.
Now the question: who provided the music for Star Trek First Contact, Star Trek Insurrection, and Star Trek Nemesis, as well as some earlier Star Trek movies? So who wrote the music? Was it Alan Silvestri, John Williams, Howard Shore, or Jerry Goldsmith? And as I say, I'm pretty certain these were all recorded at Abbey Road Studios in the UK. I know that from when I sneaked in and blagged my way in to see what it was all about in there. But you have a little idea as well, Stephen.
I do. Mr. Williams, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Ah!
No! Oh my goodness.
That's wrong. The answer's wrong. Oh dear. That was a big surprise, because I definitely, let's just talk about this for a minute, because sorry, Nick. I could have sworn that was John Williams.
I did. I was 100% certain that was John Williams. And I guarantee that's what they've got posters of Star Trek all over Abbey Road. So I know they've got the big Studio One, the big one. Where they did it.
Just a minute. Alexa. Let's ask Alexa.
Oh, controversial.
To answer your question, Alexa is an intelligent.
Alexa, stop.
Assistant.
Alexa, who wrote the music for the Star Trek movies?
From Jacksonville.com.
She doesn't know. Alexa, who wrote the music for the Star Trek movies?
From Jacksonville.com. Composer Jerry Goldsmith wrote Emmy and Oscar award-winning scores for 5 Star Trek movies and the title themes for 2 spin-off series.
Was John Williams connected with the other lot?
Oh, what, Star Wars?
Yeah.
Possibly then. Oh.
Alexa, did John Williams write the Star Wars music?
From dapsmagic.com. John Williams is the original Star Wars composer. He wrote the iconic original Star Wars theme.
And he wrote The Deer Hunter.
You see, your memory plays tricks. We now know John Williams has never been anywhere near Star Trek. That's something we found out today. Okay, brings us on to question 9. Okay, that was a good moment. Question 9 then. In Star Trek First Contact 1996, which of the characters was the commander of the USS Defiant, whose crew gets rescued by the USS Enterprise? Was it Deanna Troi, Worf, William Riker, or Geordi LaForge? Geordi LaForge. Got to get the pronunciation right. Nick, whilst we're trying to get this question wrong, do you have anything to talk about?
I do. Stephen, I've got a new camera.
Yay!
And it arrived today. This is the Anktube 4K, love it, 4K webcam. And I've literally just recorded an unboxing. It is a camera that I'm looking at right now. And I have to say, even though I've only had it for about an hour and a half, I absolutely love it. It comes in 4K. Actually, now the reason I bought it was because I got credited with the sale from one the other day. So I thought, oh, I better check it out. One of the things I love about it is it has got, you know what I said earlier about having good instructions?
Yeah.
Nice meaty instruction book there. I can even read it in Japanese, you know. So that's all good. It's got a quick start guide. And of course, got the beautiful warranty. Now, this was interesting. It also comes with a USB to USB-C adapter as well. So particularly handy if you've got a Mac that's only a couple of years old. So that's really good to know. But what can I tell you about it? Yeah, it has got a 120-degree field of vision. You're not seeing that right now. You'll see that in a minute. It's got built-in stereo microphones, like we all have, all our cameras, and we can stand up to 9 meters away, and it will be noise cancelling. So that I've yet to test out, but it's pretty good. It's sitting beautifully on the Mac there, and of course it's got the usual tripod mount as well. But Stephen, it's got a remote control.
Hey!
I-
You've got 2 pluses so far, the remote control and the manual.
I know it doesn't. I'm so easily pleased. I mean, don't get me wrong. The actual camera is doing a beautiful job as well. But yeah, 120 degrees. Now, I apologize. You never normally see this amount of background on me. There you go. Isn't that incredible?
Wow.
So we got 7 times zoom, I believe. We can go. We got control over. We can mirror and upside down. Still never quite worked out why that's so important. But we can change our brightness, and we can change our color, and I can mute myself so you can't hear. But what I was looking for earlier, now full disclosure, is a bit of a dilly moment by me. I'm thinking, how strange. It hasn't got a privacy cover.
And?
Oh, wrong one. Oh, this was going to be so smooth, Nick. It hasn't got a privacy cover. Yes, it has. I found the button a minute ago. Oh, you might just have to take my word for it. So we can switch between 50 hertz and 60 hertz. That one. Oh, where's this? No. Oh, I found it.
Hey.
So we can zoom in, zoom out. Hasn't got a privacy cover. Yes, it does.
I found it.
As you can see, I'm still playing with it. But again, cool thing. So we can, it's not pan, tilt and zoom, but we can pan around and up and down as well, all by our little remote control. So yeah, so I'm just, I say, I've only had it for an hour and a half. So I'm still playing with it, getting to find its nuances and getting it to work. Let's test it, Stephen. I've not tried the built-in.
Okay.
I've not tried the built-in microphones yet. So let me just do that now. So I've got no idea how these are going to sound. So we're no longer on the lapel mic. We're now on the camera mic as well.
That's
so
very good.
You probably picked up a difference, but hopefully, it's not too bad.
No, it's not. It was quite good. It was somewhere between. Well, it was pretty close to the top end rather than the bottom end.
Oh, cool. All right, I'll have a little playback with that later on. So let me go back to my lapel mic. So back on track. Yeah, so it's absolutely. I mean, for $82, as I say, I bought this because someone had actually purchased one through Amazon and it got credited to me. And then I was looking at it, and again, these guys, a little bit like the Nexigo guys. I think these guys came about in 2018, 19, something like that. Started to build out webcams. Most of their webcams right now are were 1080. This was the only 4K one that they do. I've not seen any software, but I did read just before we came on air that if we reach out to their after sales support team, I believe there is some software that we can have with this as well. So I shall make sure that for next week, although it's Easter next week, so it might be the week after.
Easter, might be the week after. Yeah.
In a fortnight's time, oh man, I will have everything sorted with this camera for sure. But first impressions, it looks really good, and I'm super pleased with it. And so another one to add to our collection.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, the picture quality is very good, and
it feels like that.
7 times zoom, and the internal mic, the mic on the is good quality.
Yeah. Also, it's got a Sony processor as well. That's probably helping a lot.
Yeah,
because we got the same. I think it's the same Sony processor we have in the Mevo Start as well. So
To make
Yeah.
me cry, what is the price?
It is $82.99 right now.
Wow.
I tell you what,
Okay.
for 4K
And
for 4K webcam, that is
$82. I'm going to let's go back to all of us. $82 for a 4K webcam. And Juliana is back.
Hey, hi,
So,
Juliana.
hello, Juliana. Nice to see you. You could help us actually, Juliana, because you might know the answers to our quiz questions today as we go to question number 9. I hope you're good on Star Trek. In Star Trek First Contact, 1996, which of these characters was the commander of the USS Defiant, whose crew gets rescued by the USS Enterprise? Was it Deanna Troi, Worf, William Riker, or Geordi LaForge?
I have absolutely no idea.
Well, my captain, I'm going to go with William Riker. Or it could be Geordi LaForge. I've seen them both as captain. Riker or LaForge? That one or that one? That one or that Riker? No!
Worf!
It was Worf.
Worf!
Oh, were you what?
They put a Klingon in charge? Surely not.
Right.
Oh dear. Glad you're back from spring break, Juliana. Right. Now, do you know the answer to this question, though, Juliana? This is the question. In Star Trek Nemesis 2002, Commander William Riker marries whom? Does he marry Deanna Troi, Tasha Yar, Beverly Crusher? She sounds good. Or Catherine Pulaski? I quite like the sound of Beverly Crusher, but that might have nothing to do with who he married.
Right. Okay. Now, basically, the next item in the carousel, I'm going to pick something that is in Nick's carousel, and that's the Elgato Stream Deck. Yeah, if you know the answer to the question, Mariana, please do type it in. Give us a bit of a chance. We're not doing too well on this week's quiz. We are trying, but not hard enough. We have learnt something, though. We know that John Williams had nothing at all to do with Star Trek, and he was with Star Wars. Star Wars. So I just need to load something up, just make sure I've got it. Okay. Now, if we wind back 2 months, our fellow live broadcasters, Mr. Marco Novo, Efrain Lopez, and Grant Saunders were telling Nick and I that there's a piece of kit that we should have in our armory, and it would help us no end. There was nothing like it on the market, and every broadcaster should have one. Well, I'm here to say that not only should every broadcaster have one of these, but if you use a lot of Chrome tabs, if you use a lot of applications on your desktop, you want one of these. I'm going to explain to you how it works, because that's the best way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share screen, and this may or may not go right or wrong. So let's just share a window. It's that window and share. I'm going to switch Nick's camera off. I'm going to take my solo off, and I'm going to bring this on screen. I'm going to hide the ducks. Okay, we're going to hide the quiz probably permanently from now on. And then I'm going to go like this. And I love the fact that I can do this because it makes it a lot easier to present. In our Be Live studio, which is where Nick and I broadcast from, we have some new facilities, and they just work a treat when you are several items on screen. Okay, let's go back up to the top. Okay, basically what you've got, if I show you this again, you've got 5 keys, 3 rows, 15 keys. A key can either open a web page, open an application, or do a shortcut. Just a minute. Let's just bring this back on screen and bring, just a minute. This is going to go exceedingly well, I can tell. I'm going to bring this back on screen as well. Okay. Using the buttons, the shortcut buttons, I can do this. And this is not going to work, but I'm going to try it anyway. Yeah, I can. Basically, shortcuts are very 1990s. They've been around since the 1990s. Software shortcuts, whereby pressing a key combination, Alt-J, for example, or Control-C, you can take an action. And that means that it's got a hotkey. If it's got a hotkey, you can add it to your Stream Deck, so that when you press the button, nothing happens. Hang on, I'm going to bring this in as well. Let's try this. That was weird. To everybody who's watching us live now, I want to say thank you. This was not supposed to happen, because I'm supposed to be able to go like that. I know what's happened now. I've discovered what's happened. Okay. Basically, I need to reprogram my hotkeys in my new studio to work with the new layout in my new studio.
Oh, it's
And
just
when I do that, in 2 weeks' time, when Nick and I are back, I'll show you how shortcuts work with Stream Deck. It's enough to say that you can use shortcuts from any application. So we're talking about OBS, vMix, XSplit, all those applications which have shortcuts built in. You can use them to actually do nothing, or in 2 weeks' time, do everything. Okay, let's just hide the bits we don't need. 1, 2, say goodbye to the ducks again. 3, and go picture in picture. Okay, so we've established that a key can possibly lead to shortcuts. The other thing a key can do, if I go here and I go to Be Live, that button there actually links to my Be Live studio that you're looking at now. So I've typed in Be Live and I've typed in the URL for my studio. Whilst we've been live today, we've been using the Trivia Plaza movie quiz. So I've typed in Trivia Plaza, then a link to the movie quiz. We sometimes watch ourselves on Amazon whilst we're live. And when I'm solo, I show Fitbits. So there's Fitbit and there's Fitbit URL, which means that before I go live on Amazon Live, I click the Be Live button, I click the Amazon button, I click the Fitbit button and the Trivia Plaza button, and I've got 4 web tabs open and I'm ready to go. The other thing you've noticed is that we all use a lot of cameras, and if I go here, that's the software for the OBSBot, and it's linked to my desktop. That's the software for Logitech, linked to the program on my desktop, the Nexigo software, and then the Logitech G Hub links to that. So when I go live, I press 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons, and I've got all the software I need for a broadcast. So 8 buttons in total, and it runs my broadcast. Now, I've gone further than that, because the more I use this, the more useful I realize that it is. And if I go here and go up and go to the second page, here is where I've put all the Facebook groups I'm a member of that are important to me. I've got 14 Facebook groups, and each one I've typed in the title and I've typed in the URL. So if on a Sunday, I can sit down, I can go through all the Facebook groups, important ones I'm a member of, and check if I've missed anything during the week, which is absolutely brilliant. Time saver, memory saver. So bottom line is that if you use a lot of Chrome tabs and a lot of apps, this is a time saver. It saves you time, saves you money, and it is on discount today. The price today is $128.17. That is a discount of 15%, $149.99. And Juliana has said Tasha. So let's go back to the quiz, which I've got somewhere over here. Okay, and right, Mariana is saying Tasha Yarnik. Let's just switch cameras back on and go off solo and have a little discussion.
Now, I was joking when I said Beverly Crusher.
All right.
I thought I don't think I've ever heard of Catherine Pulaski.
Neither have I.
I thought he quite liked Diana Troy. Wasn't she the lady with the dark curly hair?
Correct. She's the
curly hair and tight outfit.
She's right. She's the empath, isn't she?
Oh,
She can read people's minds
Can she?
and moods.
Ooh.
Shall we go with Deanna?
Go on then.
Yeah. Juliana, forgive us if this is wrong and you're right, but on a day like today, at last,
Oh,
no, it will come as no surprise to anybody. Our score on that quiz was an F.
ooh,
Most
pretty,
people scored 5,500 people scored 6.5. We scored 4. I think that has to go down in movie quiz history as the worst that we've ever done on a movie quiz.
I think that was worse than the Oscars a couple of weeks back.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we managed more than 4. It's a long time since we've actually got 4.
Yeah.
So I'm just very grateful, Joanna, that you actually joined us and that we're all wrong. Yeah.
What can I say?
Oh dear. Well, we've got Easter coming up, which means that it's the first time to take some time off. So
yeah,
we're off next Monday. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Friday and Monday for sure.
It's we've got to be honest here. We've just about got the weather to actually go and do something. I'm told I'm in the garden next Monday. I don't mind that at all because we haven't done any work in the garden for quite some time.
No, I'm with you there. Not in your garden, obviously. But I'll be in mine for sure. Yes, it's that time to Easter, isn't it? Easter's that time to get everything cleared away, get things sorted out.
Oh yeah.
And tidied up. I was hoping to get a new shed, but I'm not sure if it's going to arrive. That's a perfect Easter.
That would be good. That would be perfect timing.
So keep my fingers crossed. But yeah.
Okay.
No, fantastic though.
Nick, it's over to you.
Oh, guys. Well, thank you so much, David and Juliana, for watching. Thank you, Juliana, for attempting to answer the question as well. We covered ourselves in glory. As Stephen said, we're not going to be back next week because it's over Easter. So we'll be back in a fortnight's time. But I'm sure you'll find us later on this week. As you know, Stephen goes live every day, 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. in the UK. But until a week on Monday, then, whatever you're doing, stay safe, have a fantastic Easter, and take care. Bye now.
Okay, bye.